Yo, what's up guys? This is the Asian Pitbull here and welcome to my AEW Fyter Fest review. So before we begin with this review, I just want to share with you guys that I produce YouTube videos on pro wrestling, my reactions, my reviews, and on occasion top 10 countdown lists. So please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and let's begin. So the show started with the buy-in, which is basically the pre-show, and this will be one of my comment later on because they are essentially doing the same as WWE pay-per-views, having the pre-show. Pre-show wasn't a thing 10 years ago. There wasn't such thing as a pre-show. So I don't know what's the strategy AEW is doing by having a pre-show, because personally I don't think they need a pre-show, and I think it actually is detrimental, but we'll talk more about this later on. So we start off immediately, we see the AEW stage and we see the bikini models, and there are four of them and they're just strutting their stuff, and it looks like the entire setup is reminiscent of WCW, where they had this kind of funky looking, you have the coconut tree and the little tiny swimming pool there, and it's decent. The setup is decent because of the hype. Maybe actually I was worked because of the promo videos. They were hyping this up to be a really big deal. I thought this would be an outside event, meaning that the entire stage and the seats were outside venue, but it wasn't. So maybe they worked me. So anyway, the kickoff show, there were the Fyter Fest tents as well, the white tents as you can see there. That's pretty funny, because if you saw my video, if you haven't done so, please go back to watch my video on whether Fyter Fest was a fraud. And right now my answer is pretty much 50-50, because although the show went on, a certain portion of things didn't actually occur. So nice production there with the tents. So it kicked off with the first match. Best Friends defeated SCU and Private Party. So mind you, and I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes on this because I'm not familiar with the AEW product, and their wrestlers are mostly from indies or undiscovered. So they are new to me, and I'm quite certain they are new to a large population of wrestling fans. So I'll just try my best, but if I botch here and there, just bear with me. So Private Party are the two black guys, and SU is basically, I only know Christopher Daniels, but he's not part of this match, and I can't really remember the two guys' name, Frankie Kazarian and the other guy. And then we have Best Friends. How creative to come up with a tag team name called Best Friends. I don't like that at all. Best Friends. So let's begin. In my notes here, okay, we'll go through my notes. Mark Quinn, I hope I pronounce his name correctly. Mark Quinn, this guy you see in the picture here in orange, he is the true standout of the show, because very impressive guys. Both Private Party, overall the standout team was Private Party, and I really enjoyed their gimmick, and their athleticism and what they bring to the table. But Mark Quinn, man, this guy can just super athletic, quite charismatic, and he's putting in effort into his look, the glasses, the orange suit, and the hairstyle. If I were to bet my money who's the breakout star, it would be this guy. And when he did the moonsault, he went really high. That was very impressive. And Private Party overall very impressive. And talking about Best Friends, so their gimmick is what? They are best friends, and when they hugged, when they went for the hug, it actually got a huge pop. And I'm surprised as well, because this is a pro AEW crowd. This crowd is made of AEW marks. They know every single gimmick, they know every single chant. Props to them, I guess. But on the same token, I can say that you are buying in too early into this product, because you're already marks for this product when they don't even have a TV show and they don't even have championships and all that, but I'm not going to get too deep into that. So anyway, there was an Ace Crusher move. Forget it, let's not talk about this, because it was a botch. Anyway, Frankie Kazarian, I heard this is a familiar name from TNA maybe. He looks to be the most experienced, and his execution of the moves were the best. And one thing I noted here is that AEW, their production, they don't have any replays. And I think that's a negative, that's a downside. Because for TV shows, maybe you're gonna have this in the future, but maybe they haven't thought of this yet. But I think that having the replays really adds on to the moment, especially when you have big spots and I want to watch it again. I want to watch the replay. So they didn't have that. I'm just noting this now. And either way, Best Friends, they are very impressive. But I wrote here they are too small. And this is going to be an occurring issue throughout the entire card. And perhaps AEW in general, which may have severe detrimental consequences in the future because of the sizes of their wrestler. They are just generally very, very small. There was a crazy spot, top rope hurricanrana to RKO by Private Party, I believe. that was super impressive. Now I'll give credit where credit is due. These bunch of talents, they definitely are not inexperienced or green. Most of them can do all sorts of flippy floppy moves to perfection and athletic as hell. I have to give this to them. Then the match ended with a brutal looking finisher from Best Friends. I forgot how the finisher looked like, but it looked really brutal. So Best Friends with the win. Next we have Ellie, right? Ellie versus defeating Leva Bates. So Leva Bates come out with this Librarian gimmick, and before this, there was actually a faction, I believe, called the Dark Order, and they came out, and basically, I'm not so, man. They just look like a bunch of nerds trying to act angry and brooding and shit. I'm not so. Another issue is because of the size. I'm not so at all. Then they tried the lights out gimmick. The lights out went out for a long time. They just came out, so they surround the ring, circling the ring with Best Friends inside. Then they did nothing, and then lights out again, and they disappear. So it seems like they're trying to play mind games. But what's the point if you're coming out? Then you don't attack them. Then you could have just been like, okay, lights out, lights back on, and just having that psychology, that mind games, without having. If you have them coming out, I'm expecting them to beat the hell out of whoever is in the ring. So that was just stupid to me. So anyway, we have this Librarian gimmick. Okay, before that, there was a quick segment also that the Young Bucks were basically, they're still, how to say this, they're still like remaking or just doing the parody on the Fyter Fest, saying that, okay, staff are not arriving, we will not promise the luxurious things and the luxurious food and all that kind of things. So this is all playing into the Fire Fraud. Anyway, I pretty much like this segment from the Elite. And they said they have to do some cost-cutting measures. So they removed 2 of the models and replaced them with mannequins. Now, the thing is, I like that, but it's not consistent throughout the show because the emphasis on the Fyter Fraud was really heavy on the first half, or even the first 1/3 of the show. After that, there weren't any gimmicks on this Fyter Fest anymore. So anyway, yes, let's finally move on to the Librarian, okay? So what is this Librarian gimmick? I'm confused. It is unique, but it is boring at the same time. Is that guy there a wrestler? And I don't know how far they can go with this gimmick. It's strange also because there should be vignettes building up to this. I don't think AEW has done any vignettes on this. Usually in the past, what WWE and F have done so well is that they actually built vignettes maybe for 1 month. You see 4 vignettes, let's say of the Librarian before finally debuting live on TV. This just makes for more entertaining to the eyes as well. But they just come out dressed as Librarians. It was a quick match. Ellie, on the other hand, is just some like Bailey. She reminds me of Bailey with that silly good girl gimmick. I don't know whether she's insane, because if she is, they probably gonna turn her down the road to some crazy girl. Sorry. It was a quick match and the face won. So Ellie won. Congrats. Then before this match, we had Kenny Omega, and they actually say that Blink 182, but he said it as Blink 182, weren't gonna show up, and Fozzy wasn't gonna show up also. So I was disappointed throughout the show. Fozzy never appeared in Fyter Fest. Chris Jericho never appeared in Fyter Fest. So is this? No, this is still the pre-show. The hardcore match between Michael. This is how you say his name. Michael Nakazawa, right? And he's going up against this guy called Alex Jabroni in a hardcore match. And I saw in the trailers the road to Fyter Fest, and I thought he wasn't gonna have a match, but he actually has a match here. He is the CEO of CEO Gaming, so he isn't a trained athlete. He isn't a talent. He's just here for a gimmick match. And the name, come on man, Alex Jabroni, more like Jabroni, bitch. Okay, you having a name like Jabroni, this just suckering you into that Jabroni punchline. So anyway, Michael Nakazawa starts cutting a promo in English, mind you. He's Japanese, but his English is pretty darn good, and he actually cuts a really good heel promo. And to me, he is the best speaking English, Japanese speaking English in the entire wrestling world right now. When you compare him to like I don't know, Shinsuke Nakamura or Asuka or things like that, or people like that. So anyway, pretty good promo. And then we begin the fight. The nerd Jabroni has some moves. Okay, I give it to him, but after that, this guy brings out the Japanese guy brings out the oil. What the hell? This is his gimmick. He's like what, Hakan from Street Fighter. He brings out the oil. The ref slips also. Everybody slips. What the hell is this oil style? I don't want to be negative, but I definitely need to get used to this kind of style, because this is gimmicky. This is not pro wrestling. And WTF, I saw Justin Wong, legendary Street Fighter and just overall gamer, I guess, was in the crowds as well. I wonder if he's a fan of pro wrestling or they just invited him there. And they actually, because it's a hardcore match, so they give Nakazawa the fight stick. Just a bunch of nerds. This entire gimmick, entire show is just a bunch of nerds running the show. And then they fight throughout the arena. Jabroni tries to drown him in a tiny pool, and then you see all sorts of shit like body slam into the pool. Then Nakazawa strangles Jabroni with the controller, and there was an OMG spot with a spear through the table. And then this crazy guy pulls out a thong from his tights. And then there was this spot with the arcade push button, sort of like Lego. And basically just crazy weird stuff all over the place, I guess. Michael wins with the roll up. He reversed a move from Jabroni into the roll up to the win. So yeah, congratulations, I guess. So that was the end of the pre-show. And then when the main show finally kicked in, and when JR's music, this was still in the pre-show, when JR's music played, man, it was legit, man. Like seeing JR, legendary announcer, so many years for WWE, seeing him come out from the Titantron immediately gives legitimacy. And when hearing his voice opening the show, wow, is like, this is legit, man. So Jim Ross, I would say Jim Ross single-handedly brought up the stock and brought up the credibility of AEW in general to much higher level compared to if you had some other announcers. Like, no offense to Excalibur or the other guy, Golden Boy, but JR, man, immediate legitimacy. So the main show kicked off with Shima, with Christopher Daniels, and this is just two veterans going at it. I guess it's a solid opener, but the thing that doesn't interest me is that there isn't a story about these two guys, and there's nothing for me to invest in. Christopher Daniels, yeah, he's a veteran for the small leagues. He never made it to the big time, but what's the story for him? Like is he gonna retire in 1 year's time? Is this like a retirement tour or something? So I can't invest in two, like, if it was too young upstarts, okay, young high potentials, then okay, they may be the future of the company. But you have two random veterans, I'm not invested at all. So Shima wins, and yeah, that's all about the match. But I want to point out that they cut to the announcers, JR in the middle. I want to ask, was that Jim Ross wearing the WWE Hall of Fame ring on his finger? Because just go back and see and let me know whether it's the WWE ring, because WWE won't allow him to wear that ring in AEW, right? And I can't find anybody talking about this, so I'm very curious whether that was the WWE Hall of Fame ring Jim Ross was wearing. Next, we have a women's triple threat match between Rijo and Nyla Rose, right, the monster, and Yuka Sakazaki. Okay, so two more Japanese girls. We already have quite a few in the wrestling world right now that are gaining prominence. Asuka and oh my gosh, I'm gonna get flamed for not remembering the name. Kairi Sane and Io Shirai. Okay, glad I remember the names. And then we have the giant Nyla Rose. So I've not heard of Nyla Rose before, neither have I of the two Japanese girls. I only recently, just now, know that Riho had a match with Kenny Omega back in the days, and she actually had a match with Minoru Suzuki when she was 10 years old. How did that pass? I don't know. So the match started off with both Japanese with just tag teaming against the monster Nyla Rose, and they actually have some pretty good athleticism and pretty solid work. So this is basic, like 2-on-1 against the monster, even though it's a triple threat. I like Yuka's look. She reminds me of that Egyptian vibes. It's definitely the first time I've seen pro wrestling. Like one of the video games character in Street Fighter, I don't know who, but with the short hair and the long pants and the cut up top. So I dig that look. And Riho is just this happy-go-lucky, positive girl. I like her look though as well. So anyway, there was a few interesting spots. There was a nice flying knee move from Nyla Rose. This girl can fly. And also a senton bomb. Although it missed, she's pretty athletic. That's how she differentiates herself from other giants like Karma. The match ends with Riho winning with the roll up. Okay, so congratulations. I guess she's the one with the highest stock right now. But props to all three ladies for putting up pretty decent, and they were given some time as well. Pretty decent match. Okay, next we have the Fatal 4-Way match between Hangman Page, MJF, and two other Jungle Boy, and who's the other guy? Jimmy Havoc. Right, okay. So what happened here was basically MJF comes out with a promo, and yes, I do like MJF, in case you're wondering, because people were hyping up about MJF, and even industry people like Jim Ross is saying MJF is good, and yeah. So after seeing for myself, he's pretty good. Did I spot Noel Foley in the crowd? Okay. So anyway, he's a pretty good promo. This guy, so young as well, and he talks like a natural. There's a difference between natural and people who are reading from scripts or reading from bullet points, but can pull it off. But you can just tell people who are just natural on the mic and don't need any content. They can just spill off and continue talking non-stop, like Ric Flair. So pretty good. I'm quite impressive, and he's natural, not like the Miz. Miz is not the natural. He reminds me of Kevin Owens, the kind of the way he speaks. Then next we have Jungle Boy coming out with Luchasaurus. I like this. He's riding on Luchasaurus coming out, so I like this gimmick. Then Jimmy Havoc comes out. Now here's the thing. I don't want to start ranting, but this AEW is full of vanilla midgets, man. Especially like this Jimmy Havoc and Joey Janella and the Darby Allin. They don't want to portray this crazy, brooding, dark metal shit, right? But when you're under 6 foot, 200 pounds, I cannot buy into you. I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna rant on this another day, but I'm gonna save my energy here. All these vanilla midgets don't even look muscular at all. Wannabes. They're just wannabes. Hate me all you want, but they're just wannabes. Adam Page. So what's next? Hangman Adam Page comes out, and he's built as the future of the wrestling industry, right? Well, although I do see some fire in this guy, I don't agree to that. My sense on this is that he is the best you got, but he isn't the best in the world. He reminds me of Adam Cole in many ways, including the shortness, the height as well, basically. And JR, yes, JR, you misheard. 295 pounds. Ain't no way this kid 295. He's 219, built 219, but I guess closer to 200. So anyway, this is like a rising star match, meaning that all these, like, they're contending to see who's the fastest rising star. And there was a good funny spot there. MJF, he teases a flip to the outside, but he doesn't do that. Good little stuff like that. I really appreciate. This guy has done his homework. As a heel, you don't do flippy floppy shit like that. Heel doesn't do high risk maneuvers. So Jungle Boy also has some things going for him, man. Obviously super athletic, but the thing is there is no differentiation. Maybe Jim Cornette is right. When everybody can do a flip flop, and everybody can do that 630 splash, and everybody can fly through the middle rope, then what's the differentiation? I feel that right now the wrestling, see, I don't want to get into any rant again, but it's like throughout every match you're getting the same thing. Flippy floppy. Yes, I don't deny, I've said this time and time again, they are athletic as hell, talented as hell. But if in a show every match is flippy floppy, then how do you differentiate yourself? There should be only one flippy floppy guy in the industry right now, and it's Ricochet, because he's the best at what he does. And maybe the other guy, Michael Elgin, is it? Because he's equally as flippy as Ricochet. But come on, man, there's too many flippy floppy guys. Like the Best Friends, flippy floppy. Private Party, flippy floppy. Basically, what they call it, sport monkeys. Okay, you have like this Sema is also pretty much sport monkey. Okay, then like this is Sport Monkey. Darby Allin is Sport Monkey. The Luchas are Sport Monkeys. Joey Janella, gosh, okay, never mind. Let's come back. So this is overall, this is what I call a Sport Fest match if I ever seen one. If you want to see a Sport Fest, watch this match. Zero psychology, honestly. I don't care what the commentators sell to me. There is no story in this. It's just a Sport Fest. JR was putting over MJF and Hangman Page, as well as the two of the fastest rising future of the company. My problem is they are midgets. Page wins with the reverse power driver. Obviously, he's the one gonna win. Congratulations. If you don't build Hangman Page as the fastest rising star or the man, because like it or hate it, the man of the company, the face of the company has to be over 6 foot tall. That's just for me. And I'm not a geek on size or brute strength on all that, and I'm not ignorant to athleticism and you know all that. Okay, and I'm not against vanilla midget, but there's a place and a spot for these kind of things, and Hangman Page shouldn't be that face, that main event guy. It's better you build him as a Shawn Michaels type of guy. Okay, because Shawn Michaels was taller than him. Shawn was 6'1". This guy is barely 6 feet, barely 200 pounds. Maybe I should really go into a long rant on this. No, next we have Cody. Even Cody in WWE was one of the smallest guy. In AEW, he's one of the biggest. Cody's about 6'2", right? And 220, 230, I guess. And he looks huge compared to Darby Allin. Darby Allin is the smallest of them all. He reminds me of Zach Gowen with 2 legs. And the worst thing is that Darby Allin is having this stupid ass, I don't give a fuck about the world, and I hate everybody and I lost everybody and all that shit. You're trying to intimidate me, kid. Darby is tiny. Wrong gimmick for him. So next, the commentary is saying that, okay, Darby Allin's biggest strength is his speed. He's fast. Come on, man. Like I said, everybody is fast. Okay. I like that JR is calling the moves. Okay, thank God for JR. He's calling the moves and calling the actual wrestling, and trying to sell me on the psychology and the moves. And it's really refreshing to hear, compared to the WWE product where they are just it's like an extreme. When you're trying to commentate on a match or build a match or whatever, you want to have equal balance of story and moves, because the moves tells the story. Is a psychology, is a fine balance. You cannot have too much of story and not call the moves. That's what WWE doing now. So Jim Ross is a legend. Okay, so this is more hate for Darby Allin. No, I don't want to hate on you, Darby. You look like you have set upbringing, and you look very talented, and obviously you're willing to put your body on the line to kill yourself for this business. But you just look like a nerd doing moves and talk about stupid fucking sport. He actually, you go and see the replays, you'll see a lot of GIFs on Instagram and Twitter. He does this back fall onto the hardest part of the ring, the side of the ring, while he was trying to land on Cody. They were standing outside the ring, and he entirely 100% without any protection lands on his back. You tell me that is wrestling, pro wrestling. I wonder what Jim Cornette will say about this, honestly. This is not wrestling. This is watching you kill yourself. Gosh. There was a body bag spot, and I like that. That was pretty cool. With Cody hitting him while he was in the bag. and then he wants to go for the win, but there's 30 seconds left, so I wasn't aware that there was a time limit draw. Did they announce this? Anyway, I don't know. So apparently there's a time limit draw, and Cody went for the crossroad. It was a very good sell. I have to give it to Darby Allin, because he did that RVD sell where basically his entire body went vertical. But just before the ref was able to count to 1, 2, 3, the timer expired and the match ended in the tie limit. What's that? A time limit draw. I wrote it wrongly there. It's a tie because of a time limit draw. This, I don't get this, man. This is pretty lame for me. Then after that, Shawn Spears, previously known as Mr. 10, I can't even remember because I was never a fan of him. And he does the unprotected steel chair shot to Cody. Now I don't know whether this was planned or this was accidental, but this is not wrestling. There should at least be protection. And this is what it left Cody with: bad gash. I don't know whether the publicity, they got bad publicity. I don't know whether Cody, what's that, Tony Khan coming out to defend the company, saying that this was not part of the script. I don't know this was a work or a shoot. But to me, unprotected steel chair shots like this has no place in the business. If you want to go for the head, at least protect yourself first. And this is the result, a really bad gash, and maybe take off years of Cody's life. How stupid. And MJF comes out as well. So stupid. And see, here's the thing: you want this to be a family-friendly product. You have kids sitting ringside, and you actually do shit like this. Come on, get yourself. Maybe they're still figuring out. Okay, maybe they're still figuring out. So, one last thing about this match: where the hell are the EMTs? Where the hell are the EMTs? You see the entire roster comes out trying to help Cody. This is just a stupid thing, but this is what WWE does so well, and we have seen WWE do time and time again. Whenever there's brutal injury where, like let's say Mankind Hell in a Cell, he falls off from the top of the cage, EMT immediately rush over a stretcher. This motherfucker got his head with a gash and just leaking blood, and there was no EMTs. And just a bunch of wrestlers. That doesn't make sense. Dean Malenko was there. What the hell? I didn't even know Dean Malenko is signed to AEW. I thought he was still with WWE. But anyway, back to the main point. It doesn't make any sense at all. You had someone dying there, and you had not giving medical attention, and you're not even trying to rush him to get medical help. Wow, this is a long pay-per-view. Next, we have the Elite defeating the Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid. And so there was I dig the intro by the Young Bucks and the Elite. What is this timeline we are living in, man? Pro wrestling and gaming, Street Fighter. So okay, yeah, I'm a mark for Street Fighter. I like Street Fighter, so yeah, hell yeah, with the Ken and Ryu. And then Kenny Omega, there was a nerd running to the stage, and then the screen blacks out, and we see the Akuma's finisher. They even have the graphic there, and Kenny Omega comes out as Akuma. Yeah, I like Street Fighter, so I'll give this to them. And throughout this, Jim Ross was silent because he doesn't know shit about all this gaming. Anyway, this is another match of midgets. I never bought into the Young Bucks. I'm sorry. You're telling me they're greatest tag team in the world. They get swallowed, eaten alive by Dudley Boys. Okay, 5 feet nothing, 100 pounds nothing. Matt Jackson or Nick Jackson tells Justin Roberts to say something, and Justin Roberts, I dig this as well. He says round 1 fight, and but his face before saying that was really funny. It got a big pop. What timeline are we living at now? So this is like what I wrote here. I wonder what Jim Ross really thinks about the product, man, with the nerdy gaming stuff and the midgets and the hardcore match and the unprotected steel chair shots. I want a shoot interview with Jim Ross on what he honestly think about this. Anyway, the Luchas have a lot of tandem flying offense. Now the only people who should do flip-flop flying shit are luchadors, and phenomenal athletes like Ricochet. No, Ricochet is just a tier of his own, and Michael Elgin, is it? And the rest shouldn't do flip-flop shit at all. So no doubt this is another sport fest basically another sport fest, and you see my Singaporean accent coming out. It's just another sport fest, and there was a Hadouken spot. Kenny wins with the one wing angel. Kenny has descended. He's basically like some mid-card nobody now compared to when he was a god in New Japan Pro Wrestling. The main event is an unsanctioned match. I like this little touch. The Justin Roberts was saying that okay, the match, the show has officially ended. Once we did black out the lights, when we come back on, this match is not signed under AEW. AEW will not be accountable for this unsanctioned match. I like that touch. Then we have this big nerd Joey Janella comes out. So I don't know his gimmick, but they are saying he's just this crazy deathmatch guy, right? And he's so crazy and shit. Well, maybe it's just somebody just kill him. No, because he doesn't. I don't know. Go back to CZW or something. Okay, now this is one of the rare plus points. John Moxie comes out. Okay, and John Moxie is like John Moxie is the biggest guy in this show, and I love John Moxie's character right now. Perfect. John Moxie right now, his physical size is, I think he's around 6'2", and they announce him as 231 pounds, and you can tell he looks bigger as well. So he's really right now he looks like a legit main eventer, and time and space, man. AEW really lucky to get him. Janella, that shitty body, that shitty punchable face, that midget look, he looks like shit. He has no physique at all. Moxie looks really good. So these are the spots that happened in this match. Okay, there was Moxie doing a lot of Moxie is an artist. He's able to express himself right now, okay, when he's unleashed. So there are some 6 spots on this steel chair wrapped in barbed wire, stomping on Janella, and there were the "you sick fuck" chants, which Moxie proceeds to acknowledge and bows to the crowd to get a big pop. And I like that because he speaks the language of violence. Everything, the way Moxie is being built right now, and this is all him. It's not Cody, it's not the Elite, this is all him. It's just perfect for his character now. There was a Hurricanrana onto the steel chair, and then the blood on the back was pretty sick, man. This was kind of reminiscent of CZW days. I really wonder, like, John Moxie, has he, like, what kind of shape he's in now to do these kind of death matches? Because last time he was doing this like week in, week out, and maybe he was used to the pain. Go check out my video on top 7 violent John Moxie matches if you haven't already done so. But like, he's been sterilized, and coming back to do this, I wonder if the threshold is still there, or he's just still feeling even more pain than ever. So there were many sick spots. There was a crazy side Russian leg sweep onto table outside. Moxie really looks like he belongs in the element, man. Janella with the running FU to Moxie into a table with barbed wire. It's just stupid. I don't get why this Janella is the main event first of all, and he's pushed to why is this midget able to carry Moxley and able to FU him into table? This is the shitty kind of loss of psychology that's happening nowadays when you have vanilla midgets. There was an elbow from the ladder top through the table. Overall, here's the thing. I'm reminded now why I don't like this match, because this match should have been the destruction of Joey Janela. It should have been the death of Joey Janela. It shouldn't have been a 50-50 match. Joey Janela should never have been able to put up so much offense. It doesn't look credible. It doesn't look believable. Finally, there was a thumbtack spot. Moxie takes off his boots and then the socks. JR was like, not the socks. Bless your heart, JR. And then there was a slam onto the tags, and then another slam, feet first landing on the tags. That was pretty sick. Then another thumbtack. He hits his Dirty Deeds, formerly known as Dirty Deeds. Now it's called the Paradigm Shift, I believe. With the high paradigm, is a high variant. He lifts him up for the additional oomph. And Janella lands face first on the tag, so that was pretty sick. And pins him for the win. So yes, Moxie got the win, but the match shouldn't have been back and forth. It should have been the destruction of Janella. Janella shouldn't have been able to put up so much offense against Moxley. The show ends with Omega attacking the hell out of Moxley, obviously for revenge back in what happened in the All-In. And there was a brutal V-trigger and a power driver. And then he basically beats the hell out of Moxie, but Moxie smiles to end the show. And I don't know why JR never goes crazy. Okay, JR should be going crazy to end the show, but he doesn't, because he's not invested anymore. Now, my honest thoughts. Firstly, why is there a pre-show? I don't like the idea of a pre-show. I'm already sick and tired of WWE pay-per-views being 7 hours long, WrestleMania being 7 hours long, with your 2-hour pre-show and shit. Differentiate yourself. You don't need a pre-show, okay? Now, for this Fyter Fest, I wanted beach. I wanted games. I wanted the cut between like the ring in the beach with the crowd, basically a outdoor venue. I wanted that. That was what was sold to me. That was in my mind with the video package and all that. So you could call this the Fyter fraud, I guess. I wanted beach, and I wanted cuts to the actual CEO, whatever event they had going on. I wanted that. Like maybe you have a show, then you have the backstage segment, then you cut to, okay, now we are at the CEO gaming, blah blah blah. Then you can promote CEO gaming as well. But I was kind of disappointed. This wasn't set in an outside venue with no beach and with a stupid tiny pool, and there was no show of CEO gaming at all, other than the Jabroni. I've said this throughout the show. There's too many vanilla midgets, which I have to address in another video. Wins and loss matter, right? But why isn't there a graphic on the screen telling me the tally of the wins and loss? Jericho, why Jericho didn't appear? The Elite was having too long of a match. The Elite. I went to check the match times. The 3 longest matches, 20 minutes. John Moxie, Joey Janela, the Elite match, and the Cody match. So it's like this. It's like you're just trying to sell yourself, Elite and Cody. the thing is, I never bought into Cody as a top guy. I never bought into the Elite as a top tag team. I like Omega when he was in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and the spotlight shouldn't be on the Elite. I think one day it will backfire, because these two vanilla midgets that you're telling me they are the best tag team in the world. So it shouldn't be that way. The Elite shouldn't be like the main event with the long match time. The focus should be on the main event, and maybe those kind of feud ending matches, like, I don't know, maybe like last month, like the Cody and Dustin Rhodes match, that deserved 20 minutes, but you give me a spot fest 20 minutes. That's the end of my review. Final rating 5 out of 10. Just pass for I guess it's a free show, so maybe they don't put in so much effort. But now that I have ran through everything, my biggest problem is just there are too many midgets pretending to be wrestlers. This is the Asian Pitbull signing out.